Good evening. William Mean here, 1799. Glad you could come around. Leave me a comment down below. Subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and I really appreciate the help. I like to get things like this out in the open more and more because it affects all of us somehow. I want to touch on something here. I know everyone they get up, they take a shower, they grab breakfast, rush out the door, get in their vehicle and go to work or get on transit or wherever it may be. And as you go through your day, going to work or coming home or going to wherever it is you're doing, you see a person out there, be a man or a woman, and they're holding a sign up. Can you help me? I'm homeless. I see a lot of it out there. Some of them are veterans. And the sad part about it is, these politicians don't address the issue. All they worry about is generating campaign money. They'll send you brochures, tons of brochures like this, and tell you whether you be a Democrat or Republican, can you send me some money for my campaign? $5, $10, $50, $100. I really appreciate it because we got to defeat. We got to support and hold democracy. And the other side says doing the same thing. We got to hold and support. We got the freedom of our country. Yeah. Okay. They're standing around with the $400, $500 suits on, with their entourage all around them, media all around them, campaign ads all over the place. And they're asking for campaign money. They get big paychecks too, but they need campaign money. $1 million, $2 million, $4 million, $10 million. And then you get the big donors, so I'm going to put $50 million in your campaign, put $100 million in your campaign. Yeah, and this goes back and forth to these two political parties. Yet you get some poor soul out there in tattered rags, barely can stand, no one can. They got our worldly possessions they have, whether it being a sack or pushing a shopping cart or in a pack they may have put together. And they're asking for help. Can you spare something? And it's interesting too, because the politicians don't mention this. You don't hear nothing from the media about this. Oh no. And it's in the towns and districts and the cities and the states that these politicians are part of. Mainly Democrats. California has a huge homeless rate in their towns and their cities and their districts on the curbs. And yet these politicians, who are career politicians, have been elected for 10, 15, 20 years. They get elected. Then you got people who had homes, who might have had a job. That job decided to shut down, go and gone. And they can't afford the taxes or the house payments or so they wind up on the street. Looking for work. Some traveling from different states trying to find work. And they got all the world possessions, what they could carry in the back of their pickups or the trunk of their cars, and they're sleeping in them. Yeah. But you don't mention, you don't hear this from the media. You don't hear this from any of these organizations who want to strip you of your constitutional rights. You don't hear this from nobody, really. All they care about is themselves. And the hundreds of thousands coming over that border. They're more worried about their well-being than the veteran. or they're more worried about their well-being than a homeless family on the street or a homeless person on the street that needs medical attention or medical care. Eating out of a trash can for table scraps, I can find it. Yeah. But one more word about them many people coming in. We need to make sure they have jobs and have good housing care and good medical, and we're going to make sure that, you know, we can give them the right to vote, and maybe we can work something out for them. But with the homeless people, don't they care to get anything? Do they get a chance to vote? Do they get a chance to get any medical insurance? Do they get a chance anything? It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. People come over here, they want to set up shop. They can get a loan for a business loan, and we'll set you right in business. What about these people on the streets? Or people living out of the cars, or living out of the trucks, or living in tents. Democrats complained, you know, how many jobs they created, and the Republicans said can't do nothing. Yet they jump up and down. We created 247,000 new jobs. Yeah, those jobs are low pay. Minimum wage mostly. Yet you got large corporations, you know, that are shutting down. Laying off hundreds of thousands of qualified workers, making some serious money so they can pay their bills and their taxes and so they can stay in their homes. You can't do that on minimum wage jobs. You can't keep raising minimum wage neither. It's a shame because they don't talk about that. They don't address any of that stuff. So every time you people get up and you go to work or you go out to some place or some shopping mall, wherever, you see a homeless person out there with a sign that says, "Can you help me?" If you got a few dollars or some change, don't be afraid to give it to them. Because these politicians are not going to do a goddamn thing for them. They haven't done it then, they won't do it now. The only difference they worry about is publicity that could hurt their campaign, so we'll have to physically remove them. Push them somewhere else. So let them set up camp in another state, set up camp in another town, set up camp somewhere else. As long as it's not in my town or my district. I don't need the bad publicity. They don't want to fix the problem. But those homeless people, they're not nothing to them. But they're Americans. They didn't come across that damn border. Some are veterans who fought for this country or wore the uniform. The attitude, so that's their problem. They're homeless or on the street corners, that's their problem. And it's a shame. They're more worried about their campaigns. They're more worried about getting elected. So you hear these class donors donating $100 million or $1 million or $50 million, $60 million. And you hear these politicians brag and the media brag, oh, this candidate drove in $2 million for their campaign. Wow. This poor homeless person out in the street is like, can you spare something? Yes, some of them are on drugs, yes, but they need medical attention. Can they afford it? Can they get it? No. Some have mental issues. A lot of mental institutions are non-existent, or the care is non-existent. Then these politicians and the rest of these people just euthanize and get rid of them. It's a shame. But Those millions of people coming from that border, they're more worried about their well-being. Do they have driver's license? Do they have medical care? Can we get them good education? Can we get them a good place to live? We'll get them a job. Or start them in the business. And get them to vote. But those people on the street corner, the people living in tents in the woods, people living in their cars and their trucks because they lost everything, because they can't afford to live anymore, due to no jobs, or qualified people. Some are qualified because of the age limit. And they don't mention that. Yeah. And it's a shame. It really shows how much they really do give a damn. They're more worried about the well-being of the illegals, not the people who live on the street corner. And if you're a firearm on an issue, they don't give a damn about you neither. Or if you don't believe in what we believe in, you don't see our way of things, we don't want to represent you. It's a sad, sad shame. We are a very, very strong, stable country, but yet these politicians, they want control. So it's sad. It really is. I see one. I'm going down to work, and he's always on the same corner. You give him a few bucks. Well, what's even hard to see and to read about in the newspapers, I had a newspaper here, right here, is when they get run over, and nobody cares. And or to get beat up by a bunch of people. And it makes you wonder. Hit and runs by people in vehicles with these homeless people, it really shows you how much they really care, because that care does not resonate from Washington or from these politicians in these states, counties, and districts. It doesn't. And the mostly Democrat-controlled states, counties, districts, towns, and cities had the highest homeless rate there is. But yet the media does not bring that out knowing it. These organizations who are against your rights don't even say a word about this stuff. They never do. But yet these politicians are more worried about their own asses, I would say. So when you see some of these brochures of these campaign ads that come up, think about it. You got some spare change in your pocket, you got a buck or two you can give to someone that could use a cup of coffee or something to eat, whatever. Give it to him or her. They didn't ask to be here. They're here because of the situation we're in. Because mind you, that could be you, that could be your friend, it could be a relative. You could wind up dead on the street, murdered, drug overdosed, freeze to death. They're human beings too, but they're Americans. That's the hard part, they're Americans. Some of these guys are going to be veterans, men and women. Think about it. Really think about it. Till then, keep your friends and family close. Do not be afraid to defend yourself. If you do have some spare change, just do see someone on the street with tethered flag rags, and give them a couple bucks. Take care.